Today, we're jumping into the core ideas of a really powerful book by Brianna Wiest called The Mountain Is You. It tackles one of the most maddening things we all deal with, self-sabotage. So let's just start with a big question. Have you ever felt like you're just stuck in your own way? Like there's some kind of invisible barrier between the life you have and the life you really, really want. Well, this whole explainer is about figuring out what that barrier is and how to start taking it down. The book we're digging into is the source for our whole conversation today, and its central metaphor is just brilliant. It suggests that the biggest mountains we have to climb aren't actually out there in the world. They're obstacles that we build inside of ourselves. All right, so let's start the climb. Wiest makes this point that when you keep facing the exact same problems over and over again, maybe in your career, your relationships, your health, that's a huge signal. It's a sign that the problem isn't out there. It's right here, inside of us. So what is this mountain exactly? Well, it's not just a random challenge. The book defines it as the physical result of a deep inner conflict. It's a tug of war, really, between what you consciously say you want and the unconscious beliefs and patterns that are secretly pulling you in the complete opposite direction. And this quote just gets to the heart of it all, doesn't it? The whole journey isn't about defeating some external enemy. It's about self-mastery. It's about understanding and finally making peace with all these conflicting parts of who you are.
Which brings us to a really fascinating idea. We usually think of self-sabotage as totally irrational, right? Maybe a sign of weakness. But the book offers a completely different take. Self-sabotage actually has its own strange kind of logic.
Okay, so get this. Self-sabotage isn't about you not wanting good things. It's about having two competing desires that are at war with each other. Your conscious mind is hitting the gas, trying to go after your goals, but your unconscious mind is slamming on the brakes because it's trying to protect you from something it's afraid of. So let's be super clear. This is not about you hating yourself or just not having enough discipline. Self-sabotage is actually a coping mechanism. Yeah, it's a really dysfunctional one, but it's designed to meet some deep, unfulfilled need. Maybe a need for safety or comfort or a sense of control in the only way it knows how. So if it's a coping mechanism, what exactly are we trying to cope with? Why do we build these mountains for ourselves in the first place? The book lays out three primary reasons, so let's break them down. First up are old stories. We all have these narratives about ourselves like, I'm just an anxious person, or I'm not the kind of person who can. Well, our brains are wired to find evidence that confirms what we already believe, so we unconsciously act in ways that keep that old story alive, even if it's a story that's completely holding us back. Second, we sometimes learn to connect success with something bad. Maybe when you're growing up, you saw that being successful made people dislike you, or that being really happy just made you a target for disappointment. So now, as an adult, you subconsciously resist getting those things because you've linked them with a negative feeling you'll do anything to avoid. And the third reason is this thing called the upper limit problem. Basically, we all have an internal thermostat for how much happiness and success we feel comfortable with. When we go past that limit, the new feeling is so unfamiliar that it's actually uncomfortable. And so we'll do something to sabotage ourselves just to get back to that familiar emotional baseline. This quote just nails it. We think we're always chasing happiness, but so much of the time we're really just chasing what's familiar. Our subconscious mind will choose a familiar misery over an unfamiliar joy every single time. It's wild. Okay, so we're starting to understand the why, but what do we actually do about it? How do we start climbing this mountain? Let's talk about the first and honestly probably the hardest steps you have to take to create real change. This is it. This is the starting line. No more blaming your boss, your past, your family, or the world. The book is crystal clear on this. Nothing changes until you accept your role in creating your own reality. And listen, this isn't about blame. It's about empowerment. It's about taking your power back. And here's a really practical process. First, get brutally honest with yourself. Write down every single problem, but with no excuses attached, just the facts. Second, look at that list and get clear. Find the patterns, see how your own actions are the common thread. And third, you have to decide. You either accept the situation as it is, or you commit 100% to changing it. That lingering in the middle, that indecision, that's the quicksand that keeps us stuck. But, and this is a big but, if you do commit to changing, you have to face a hard truth. This kind of transformation isn't free. It comes with a cost.
I mean, this line from the book just stops you in your tracks, doesn't it? To become the person you want to be, you literally have to be willing to let go of the person you have been.
So, what does that actually mean? Well, it means giving up your comfort zone. It might mean losing your sense of direction for a while. It might even mean outgrowing certain relationships or friendships. And it definitely means giving up the need to be liked and understood by everybody. That's the real price of the climb. But here's the beautiful way to look at it. You aren't losing essential parts of you. You are just shedding a skin that doesn't fit anymore. You're letting go of a life that was built for a past version of yourself so you can make space for the person you're becoming right now. So, we'll end on this. The journey is hard and the cost is real. But the reward isn't just a better life, it's a better you. That mountain isn't just an obstacle, it's a forge. It's the very thing that's going to shape you into the person you were always meant to be. The only question left is, who is that person waiting for you on the other side?